On a DSCR loan, the property qualifies for the mortgage, not you. Read that again. The lender is not adding up your W-2s or digging through 2 years of tax returns. They're looking at one thing. Does the rent cover the payment? And if you own a rent already or you're trying to buy your first one, there is one number that decides your approval before your personal income ever comes up. So let me show you exactly how that number works, because most investors I talk to have no idea it even exists. All right, so let's start with what a DSCR loan actually is in plain English. All right, DSCR stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. That's a mouthful. Okay, so let's kill the jargon right now. All it really means is a simple comparison. On one side, you have the rent the property brings in. On the other side, you have the full monthly payment. The lender divides one by the other. That is the whole game. Okay, here's the part that trips people up. On a normal mortgage, you are the one qualifying. Your job, your pay stubs, your tax returns, your debt-to-income ratio. That is how much of your monthly income already goes towards bills. All of that is on the table. A DSCR loan flips it on its head. The property has to carry its own weight. If the rent covers the payment, the deal works. I mean, your personal income barely enters the conversation. All right, so who is this for? All right, so for self-employed investors are the big ones, guys. Say you own a business and your accountant does a great job writing things off. All right, on paper, your tax return shows you barely made anything. Okay, that's their job, right? On a traditional loan, that low number sinks you. So you know you can afford the property, but the paperwork says otherwise. This product does not care about that return. It cares about the rent and only the rent. All right, so who is this not for? Okay, if you are buying a house to live in yourself, this is not your loan. Okay, DSCR loans are for investment properties only. Rentals, period, end of story. If you want to move in, you're looking at the wrong product. Now, let's get into the numbers, okay, because this is where the real answer lives. The formula is rent divided by PITIA, right? That is it. Rent on top, PITIA on the bottom. So let me define what PITIA is before I use it again, okay? Because nobody talks like that at a kitchen table. All right, PITIA is just the full monthly payment on the property, okay? Every piece of it. Principal, that is the chunk that pays down what you borrowed, okay? Interest, the cost of borrowing. I mean, taxes, your property taxes, insurance, the homeowner's policy. And the A on the end is association dues. So your HOA, if the property has one or not. You stack all five together, and that is your PITIA. That is the real cost of owning the thing every month, not just the loan part. All right, so the math is rent on top, that full payment on the bottom, divide one by the other, and you get the ratio. So here is the math. Okay, say the property rents for $2,000 a month, and say the full payment, everything I just listed, comes to $2,000 a month. Rent divided by payment, 2,000 over 2,000, that equals 1, okay? Ratio 1 means the rent exactly covers the payment. The property breaks even, it pays for itself. Now, that is the floor most lenders want to see. I mean, 1.0 gets you in the door, right? There's a few investors, that go beneath it, but not very many. But here is what a lot of our investors do not realize. I mean, most lenders would rather see 1.25 or higher, okay? What does 1.25 mean to them? So let's run it. Same $2,000 payment. All right, now the property rents for $2,500 a month. $2,500 divided by 2,000, that's 1.25. It means the rent brings in 25% more than the payment. There's a cushion there, all right? The property is not just breaking even anymore. It is throwing off extra cash every month. So why do lenders love that cushion? Because rentals have bad months. Okay, a tenant moves out, the AC dies, taxes go up. The extra 25% is the breathing room that keeps the deal alive when life happens. And the stronger your ratio, the more comfortable the lender gets with loaning you money. Okay, that's the whole ball of wax, right? And the better your terms tend to be. So the real question is never can I prove my income. The real question is, does this property cash flow on its own? That is the entire decision. So let me give you the actual steps to figure out where your property lands, because you can do this before you ever pick up the phone. First, get a real rent number, not the number in your head if you already own the place and have a tenant. Okay, that's easy. It is what it is on the lease, okay? If you're buying, you want a realistic long-term rent estimate for that specific property in that specific market. And I'll tell you right now, the appraiser is going to run their own rent analysis, and their number can come in a little bit lower than yours. All right, so do not build your whole deal on the best case scenario rent you saw on the listing site. All right, second, figure out the full payment, all 5 pieces of the PITIA, okay? Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and dues if there are any, okay? A lot of people run the loan payment and forget the taxes and the insurance, and those two alone can move that payment and that ratio an awful lot. All right, third, divide the rent by that payment. If you land at 1.0 or higher, the property covers itself and you're in the conversation. You land at 1.25 or higher, you are in a very strong spot. And if you come in under 1.0, the property's not carrying its own weight yet. And that's worth knowing before you write an offer, not after. Now, here's the piece almost nobody sees coming, and it's the most important thing in this whole video. No income documentation does not mean there's no scrutiny. I mean, people hear DSCR and they think it's a no questions asked loan. It's not. Believe me, it's not. The lender skips your income, yes, but it looks very hard at your money and your credit. Here's what I mean. You still need funds to close, and you still need reserves. Reserves are just months of payments the lender wants to see that you have sitting in a bank account somewhere or an investment account, just in case the property has a rough stretch. And the lender is going to want to see where that money came from. So if you have big deposits landing in your account in the months before you apply, be ready to explain them. Okay, a random $30,000 deposit with no paper trail becomes a problem when underwriting. Okay, money can cleanly money that you have that you can cleanly document from accounts you can show. That is what keeps the file moving. That is the part that blindsides investors who thought business purpose meant easy. Okay, the income side is easy. The asset side still gets a real look. One more thing on property type, because it changes your ratio. I mean, a long-term rental on a standard yearly lease is the cleanest version of this loan. All right, short-term rentals, think vacation properties, Airbnbs, they can absolutely work, but they get more scrutiny. And how a lender treats that income varies a lot from one lender to the next. Okay, so if your plan is a short-term rental, the lender you pick matters even more than usual. And I have several lenders that will look at Airbnb income. So let's pull this all together, shall we? A DSCR loan qualifies on a property's cash flow, not your personal income. The formula is monthly rent divided by PITIA, principal, interest, taxes and insurance, and HOA dues. A ratio 1.0 means the rent covers a payment, and lenders prefer 1.25 with a cushion. You do not need tax returns or W-2s, which is exactly why self-employed buyers keep landing on this product when traditional income docs shut them out. So here's what can actually help you. All right, so running your own rough ratio is one thing, but matching the right property type to the right lender, stress testing your rent the way an appraisal will, and getting your assets clean before you apply, that is where deals get won or lost. And that is what I do every day. Okay, so if you want more in-depth info, you can go and download my free DSCR playbook for 2026. Okay, it's linked right below in this video, and it walks you through the whole thing, clarifying your strategy, understanding how the coverage affects your deal, documenting rent the way lenders actually view it, cleaning up your reserves, and matching your property to the right lender. So you can decide whether to tackle this on your own or bring in a team that does it every day. All right, grab it, run your numbers, and if you want a real set of eyes on your deal, that is exactly what the call at the top of the guide is for. If this made DSCR loans finally make sense, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, because I break down this kind of thing every week for investors, okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.